Wednesday. You are on the Heart of Success show, and I'm your host, Larisa Vakulina. I go live every Wednesday at 2 p.m. South Australian time zone. And here on this show, I'm sharing with you a little tips, tools, methods, inspiration, and motivation. How can you create healthy, vibrant, joyful, happy life? How can you create success in the sense of fulfillment, in the sense of living this life with all your creative powers and all of your inspiration and aspirations. So here I'm redefining success from being only successful in a business sense, in accumulating some wealth and roles and titles, but really become truly happy in all of your on all areas of your life, in your relationships, in your professional arena, in your creative expression, in your relationship with children, grandchildren, with friends, all of the areas that are human experiencing in their lives needs to be basically tuned in to the place of expressing through the heart. Well, today I wanted to share with you my own personal journey, my own personal story about how it was for me, that journey from the brain into the heart. Yes, the saying is that the hardest and the longest journey for humans is from the brain down to the heart. And it's true. For me, that was not easy. As for many of you, possibly also very challenging and not easy and painful, but also at the same time adventurous, joyful, happy, and uh, and it is all these colors of emotions, all the senses, and everything that we as humans are given by Creator, we can utilize to express ourselves in this beautifully designed physical form. But now I want to really get into this topic of how we, most of our life, starting from very early age, are trained to think. We been always have this, focus and the point onto the intelligence, onto the thinking process, onto this logical, critical thinking, and also just thinking because of someone decided that some of the phenomena and a nature phenomena or life phenomena is the way that they assume it is. So all these external institutions and schools and all the educational programs and also our parental environment, our family environments, because we also based on that educational format and educational societal construct. So we all perceiving the reality and perceiving our lives through the lens of the through the angle of the social lens. And of course we all believe and have this deep misconceptions within ourselves that the more clever we are, the more we are able to think and have the logical explanation or the logical argument and convictions, the more success we can get in our life, the more our dreams can come true. And so there is a very comprehensive and very complex combination of our biological configurations and anatomy functioning, and all our emotional, spiritual, psychological, and mental abilities and capabilities playing an enormous role of how all of these faculties are working together. But of course, through all of the uh, I would say indoctrinations and all the convictions and educations and concepts and science, and wherever we have this external um, uh, wisdom of other people and physicists and all the other category of the experts, we kind of used to believe and used to trust all of these external resources that are that we all started to be taught from early age, and we started to learn from that external resources of information and experimental ways of looking at these concepts. So we create this very, very crystallized beliefs erroneous beliefs and misconceptions within our system that is actually so deeply ingrained in ourselves that it becomes almost like our nature to believe in everything that we hear, that we learn, that we are convinced to be the reality. And we then start to create our lives from that faculty of the intellect, from the faculty of the logical convictions and arguments. And we don't even feel that we limiting ourselves so much with only utilizing this faculty uh, of who we are, and we kind of hiding, and almost we are very shy to actually even recognize to ourselves the dreams that we keep in our hearts, the longings of our deeper dreams and our deeper aspirations. So we kind of almost live in a two lives. We kind of alternating from that perceived artificial reality that is created for us from the social construct, and we also go and revisit some people often, and some people don't ever visit this inner internal places of the dialogue and a dialogue of your heart. And some people don't even hear the voice and a whisper of your longing, of your dreams, of your heart speaking to you. So there's a range of different range of perception based on the people that using different faculties of their own senses and knowledge and resources. And it seems like all of it separated, and we mostly rely and trust in our life all of this trained mind, programmed mind that is having perceiving the life in the sense of good and bad and right and wrong, black and white, and all of these concepts that we are been taking in from the external teaching, from external concepts, from external ideas, and all of the external informational field that was around us starting from very early age. And for me, I was not different. I was also having a lot of highly educational institutions behind me that I was constantly being motivated to complete and study different type of courses and university degrees and the Harvard Business School and all MBA programs and all of this education. I'm not saying it was not helping me. Of course, it was helping me, but to rely and trust only information and only knowledge that based on that on this foundation is really limiting. It is limited us in terms of utilizing the most important part of who we are. We are intuitive beings. We are emotional, and we are beings that have feelings. And this part of our navigation system and this part of our all-knowing, most of the people, and including myself, I didn't know how to use it. I didn't know it existed. So, and when I was building my previous business, there was a huge success, but the cost of that success was so dramatically painful, and eventually I collapsed from that from that style of life. And of course, that journey from the mind into the heart was really arduous and very hard path, right? And I know that possibly it is the same for many people, and for many, maybe it is a little easier. And I would be really happy to hear from you, possibly if you share with me what path or journey you have been experiencing, and have you ever been connecting your mind and your brain and your intellect with your heart, with that space of who you really are and all of your divine faculties that are given to actually live this life with expression of this divine essence. And for me, that was a very slow process with a lot of mistakes, with a lot of tasting, unknowing waters, and with a lot of fears and doubts and all of these feelings of not being enough, and all of the range of the emotions being, accompanying me in this process. And I only remember that I always had that inner dialogue within myself, the dialogue of misalignment of what was around me externally and how I was living life externally and what was happening within myself. And I thought that this is normal to have this life out there the way that the society is all living and accepting, and what I felt inside was really not important. I always kept it to myself in the secret pockets of my inner spaces, most of the time unanswered, and there was a lot of questions that I couldn't answer myself, and I didn't know whom to ask and whom to go and refer to actually explore this inner dialogue that was constantly within me. And the topic of this episode I called battle, the inner battle. And eventually I got to the stage where I start to feel this battle. It wasn't really in the beginning, of course, I was so easy to cut the feelings and go only just with a logical common sense. And the more I was doing it, the more I felt that there was some incompletion, or it was mistaken, it was painful experience, it was conflicting experience. And then maybe eventually I would just trust that feeling, that gut feeling, and I would start to realize that trusting that inner intuitive impulses and trusting that inner gut feeling is actually protecting myself to make a wrong decision, or make the decisions that are not effective, that are not productive, that are not constructive. So slowly, by experiencing and alternating between these two parts of me, the intellect and the logical common sense, and the intuitive unknown space where I only can base my decisions on something that I couldn't really even understand, or I couldn't even really explain. Why would I feel a certain way? That was so illogical. And then, of course, the mind would start to clean into this rejective, ridiculing kind of feelings, and laughing at the part of that was giving me some intuitive signs and some intuitive information, which I didn't know how to explain or how to actually accept. So there was a constant battle between these two parts of who I was, or is who I is. It still is, but at the same time, it was almost a learning process of alternating and testing different parts of that intuitive side, and then eventually, step by step, one by one decision, it was actually that side was seemed to be much more powerful and much more protective of the painful experiences, and it was protecting me, and it was and still is guiding me through the life to choose a most optimal decision for me. And it was saving me a lot of grave experiences, and it saved me a lot of very dramatic accidental things that could happen if I would not trust that part of myself, if I would keep cutting my feelings and following blindly only the intuitive common sense. So I'm still writing my book, and it takes almost a year since I started to do that, but it is still in a process. And in my book, I'm describing in a very detailed sense about what happened when I really clearly become aware of these two parts of me, the logical thinking and the heart feeling, how I start to have the different reference of these two different parts, and how I was using in a different situations different faculties, and what the result of these decisions were, where obviously I started to be aware how basing our major decisions, or even small ones, only based on our common sense and our knowledge and programmed mind is very, very limited. And in a lot of instances, it creates incomplete creation. It creates incomplete or even painful and conflicting, not successful outcomes of these decisions. But when I would just drop into this very relaxed and very knowing place within the heart, everything then changes. Number one, it would absolutely, without no doubts, without any fear, confirm and have that call that feels like it's a call home. Any ideas or the actions that I've done from the heart was always felt really good, and the outcome was always and is always productive, effective, and beneficial, not only for me but many people that are visiting me for healing, or visiting this place that I created for the benefit of many, for different purposes, for the rest, for rejuvenation, for healing, for simply just visiting this place and staying here as a tourist, right? It is affecting and impacting everyone in a very deep, positive way. So um, I can talk hours and hours about it, because this battle, in the beginning, we not even noticing. We kind of have that ignorance. We're not having any distinguish between where are we functioning from in our life, where are we actually making our decisions from, and we basically really confused. We just go with a great effort, and we spending so much energy of of utilizing that common sense, utilizing this logical, intelligent powers of assessing, evaluating, and deciding what is good and what is bad for us. Well, a lot of time, this programmed mind is so blind, and it is so not in alignment with what is really good for me, what is really serving me well. And sometimes, even if this some really illogical call from your heart, you would just feeling so confused, because your logical mind would struggle to understand, not even understand, even to interpret of what your heart is trying to say to you. And it will interpret in a way that it want to suppress it, it want to ignore it, it want to cut it off and go again yet in a road of the heart, heart living, heart creating or achieving and obtaining or doing. So when once you have that experience of connecting to your heart, and once you become aware of the difference, how you functioning from the intellectual faculty, and then how you actually functioning from your heart faculty, well, then you would have a clear understanding and reference of the difference, and then you can start to practice and make that disciplined way of shifting yourself back into that heart space, and remind yourself that all of this divine design that we are all being given by creator, we need to utilize in an optimal way. So the intellectual mind and logical common sense is having its own place, and it is a very powerful tool to recognize the heart calling, recognize the heart vibrations, and all of these exciting longings that you hold in your heart. And then once it recognizes, it start to function and live and do things, multiplying and accumulating all of these natural authentic vibrations that your mind start to pick up and also start to do the things that needs to be done in order for you to manifest and create everything that the heart is actually longs for. Well, I would like to finalize today's episode, and really would like to hear any experiences that you may have with the journey from your brain into your heart and how it was for you. I'm still sometimes catching myself in that pattern programming of the mind and clinging to the idea that I need to be controlling some certain things in my life. And I'm quickly now recognizing that I'm functioning from only limited faculty, and I'm allowing myself then include my heart into the creative process and utilize all that I am and all of that powerful creative being that actually can effortlessly create amazing things. Thank you so much for being with me here today, and I'm really grateful for anyone that would be interested in exploring these areas. And if you find yourself you don't know what I am talking about, or you are curious and you don't know how to start this process or start this journey from your brain to your heart, well, there is my contact numbers. There's my website here that can give you a good overview of what I'm doing, what my job is, and how I'm helping people that are wanting to explore their own powerful beingness and explore these abilities to create the life you really love to live. I am living the life that I love. I love my life because I'm waking up every day with new inspiration of how I can create more benefit for people. How can I create a more support and help for the people that are a little lost, for the people that are a little confused. So please, if you really need support, contact me, and I'm always here to support you. Thank you so much, and let's just listen a little bit of music. And I see you next Wednesday.